Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Seba, and my friend Jesus and I are the hosts of the Business Kids podcast. Today, we're bringing you a new series about Canadian business schools. The goal of this is to give you more info and a genuine review of the program from actual students, not just admin. Today, we're going to be talking about and answering questions about the BBA and IBBA programs from Schulich with Shelly and Ugo. To start off, can we get your name, admission average, and any extracurriculars that you did?
So my name is Shelly. I'm in my third year of the BBA program. I got in, honestly, I think it was like a 92 or 92.5. I don't remember exactly. Um, but I had some weird extracurriculars. Like I had a YouTube channel. I also played competitive table tennis. So it was just like a bunch of random stuff. Like I had two sports teams. Um, I honestly don't remember. Maybe a camp counselor, but I didn't have like student counselor or anything formal like that. So I got rejected in the 12th grade. So um, yeah, that's my introduction.
That's sick though. That's sick though. Like the table tennis and like your YouTube
Yeah,
channel.
the white girl is so unexpected always. Throws people off.
Yeah, I'm Hugo Pinto. I don't like saying my own name. Anybody else? Okay. I'm Hugo Pinto. Um I got in with I think the same as Shelly 92, but I did get my teachers to boost me to a 95 for that entrance scholarship.
Nice.
Yeah, so I got in with the 92, 95, somewhere in between there.
92, 95 for me.
Yeah.
My extracurriculars, I did like similar to Shelly, I didn't have like the traditional like student council takes on the world. Like I did dance, I did camp counselor, and like a lot of it was just me talking about my part-time work. Like I worked at Journeys. And yeah, I'm BBA. I don't necessarily know if I'm majoring in anything. My courses right now are just like a lot of what I like wanted to take and what was like fun to me. So yeah, we'll see if I'm majoring next year.
I second that.
Nice, nice. One thing that a lot of people asked when we like put it out there that we're gonna be interviewing Schulich people was, can you switch from the BBA to the IBBA program? I know that it's very common to like do the opposite. Like if you're IBBA,
Mm-hmm.
is that a thing that people like switch from your program to the IBBA program, or is it just like it's never happened?
Um, this is probably where it would have been better to have the Schulich admin in your podcast. I think like I remember, I don't know like throughout the program, but I remember when before we even got in, like we got an email asking us to switch from
Mm-hmm.
BBA to IBBA, but that was before we started. I don't know, Hugo.
Yeah, you can definitely make the jump from BBA to IBBA and IBBA to BBA, but it's better that you do it early into Schulich rather than like
Yeah.
once you finish your first year, like you shouldn't be switching it because I like have a friend who is in fourth year now and he's taking like his second year like BBA mandatory courses because he switched because he didn't want to do virtual exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it
Wow.
bites you later in the run, but like early into it, like you can jump between BBA to IBBA. Nobody really cares.
Well, that's cool.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
It's good to
Cool.
know.
Now we know.
Okay, one question here. I have a strong opinion on, but is your program math heavy? Like, do you need to be good at math to succeed in it?
Okay, I have to preface this by saying that I'm the worst when it comes to anything math related. And I'm vocal about that as well. Like everybody knows that I suck at accounting and finance. I think it's pretty math heavy in first and second year, and then it depends what you specialize in. Like if you continue with finance and OMIS, like it's going to be math heavy. That being said, like I got through it and I suck at math. So I guess that's
Yeah.
I think it
Just
is. I don't know.
just to like add on to what Shelly said, it's definitely like math is very important, but it's nothing like too complex,
Sure,
you know?
exactly.
Like like you can do the math. Yes, I found it very math focused, especially first and second year. And it's like I don't like math either, but I got through it.
Yeah,
Just because it was like practice makes perfect
mhm,
type of math. So
exactly.
yeah.
And it's not like the traditional math. Like when you think of math, they're like advanced functions. So it's not that kind of math. It's like very specific. finance and almost kind of math that just you got to learn and do and practice.
I don't know if it's like I can't speak for upper year courses, but from a second year perspective, what I would say is that when you get in, they tell you can take like advanced functions in either calc or data management. Please take data management, because we have 2 courses on stats and we use the word derivative once in first year. Like, I don't know if it changes upper year.
I don't even think we used it.
Yeah, no. I think data management should be like, I think data management is definitely even harder than some of the stats that we did. It's just like, I don't know. Actually,
oh my gosh, Mr. Smart Man over here.
I don't know. I don't know if I can like stand by that statement, but like it definitely doesn't get any harder than data management. Like, don't go doing calc, don't go like prepping for like, no, it's definitely data management.
I think also it depends. If you're thinking of specializing in econ, for example, then I'd say do calc or do both to like kind of carry you through first and second year stats. Like, unless you're doing econ, I'd choose data over calc. 100%.
I mean, if you're doing econ, I feel like you kind of take pleasure in that
course.
So I guess like
psychopath.
All the maths, you would have done it. That was your elective in high school.
It was like your blow off course.
Yeah, exactly.
Another question is, what's like the degree of difficulty for the program? Like, I have my own stance on that, but like based on your perspective, like, did you guys put a lot of hours into just like academic work, or did you guys focus on like extracurriculars and stuff?
Oh yeah. You can take this one first.
You know, like that's a good question. I don't know. Like, I honestly, I feel like a lot of my first and second year was me trying to live up to the expectations of, you know, being on a school club and doing academics. So like, I don't even think like the schoolwork was the hardest part for me, or was like what I was putting most of my time into. It was just like trying to fit this representation of what Schulich, like
That's
what
facts.
a Schulich student is. So like, along with like, you know, studying, I was also trying to be like, okay, and then I can be an exec on this club too, and then I can do this, and then I can do this. So like, in terms of schoolwork, I don't know. I also like don't study much in the sense where it's like, I'll like sit with people and pretend to study, but you also don't study much. So I don't know. It's all like dependent on yourself, but it's like, it's very complex, Schulich.
Yeah, I agree. I actually am the exact opposite. I wasn't trying to live up to anything at all. If Schulich saw me like represent Schulich, they'd be like, please, please don't do that. But similar to Hugo, I put in no effort, but that's because I never learned to properly study. Like, I was able to get through high school pretty easily without putting too much work in. And then it came back to bite me in the ass in Schulich, like, obviously. But like, shout out to my few friends that sat with me to make sure like I knew everything before the accounting exams. I think 100% is doable. Like, if you put in the work, you're gonna do well. That's like kind of what I say. I like, don't listen to what I say, because like, I didn't put in the work, but I was able to get through it. So if you're able to put in the work, I can't imagine how great you'll do.
Yeah, and it's also like all about like your own goals and expectations you set for yourself going into Schulich. Like, for me, I just wanted the degree at the end of the day. Like, I never personally felt that GPA gave you an advantage or like did you any favors. So like, I similar to Shelly, I like did the bare minimum. And like, even with that being said, you can still do the bare minimum and give yourself a comfortable GPA. Like, not the best GPA, not the worst GPA, but like a comfortable one. So I don't know, cater your studying towards your like your goals in the program.
100%. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we had like a guest a couple of months ago. He was from Schulich too, Jimmy Chen, and he's out here like doing some entrepreneurship crap, like he's balling and money and shit like that. But he didn't care about GPA whatsoever. Like, at some point he just realized, like, this is not what I want to do. I'm gonna just do the bare minimum, get 50s, 60s, and get my degree and whatever. Success stories.
Wow, that's exactly like, yeah. And I think the school itself places a huge emphasis on GPA. Like, if you have a high GPA, you're gonna do well. like I don't have a super high GPA. Like I made it, I'm a co-pres of a club. Like I have a job. Like I was on all these Schulich things, like frosh leader and all this fun stuff. So I don't think GPA equates to like your abilities whatsoever. And I
Hmm.
think that's perpetuated at Schulich, and that shouldn't be the case. Well, like what do I know?
That's
Like
true.
we're still in Schulich. Like we don't know what
Yeah.
happened in the long
Yeah.
run. That's just my opinion right now.
I think, like, looking at syllabuses and everything, syllabi, whatever.
You look at the syllabus.
Okay, listen. Like, on a very surface level glance, I
Right.
was looking at courses this semester, and I think what I would say for like new people coming in, the syllabus has a lot of propaganda in it. Like, you don't, there was like accounting for first year, and they were saying that you should spend at least like 6 to 8
Oh
hours a
yeah.
week on like the course, and I spent like 4 to 5, including the lecture,
Right.
and I did
Solid
okay.
2 hours.
Like, I think people will look at it, and there's a very like eat shit and work mentality, and like, hustle and
Yeah.
this and that, but like, let's not get crazy here. It's a bit
Exactly.
stressed.
100%. They say like for every 1 hour of lecture, you need like 3 hours of studying. Like that's
Yeah.
what, like, are you out of your mind? But like then again, like when it comes to exam season, it's like 10 hours of studying for every hour of lecture closer to exam. So I guess it averages out, but
Yeah.
yeah, not at all. I did not put in nearly as much work as they told me I should.
Yeah. Also, like, I feel like a lot of students had the ability to study smart in the sense where, like, I
Right.
had a lot of upper year friends. So they not necessarily told me exactly what was going to be on my exams, but they, like, guided my studying. So, like, that's also another thing to
Mhm.
keep in mind. Like, upper years are very helpful. And, like, personally, I'm always down to help other people too. So, like, you should never be scared to, like, reach out, but definitely reach out to upper years because they will help you study.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One last thing on like the academic side is like, um, I know a lot of my friends from other universities don't have a similar thing, but what do you guys think about the class length, and what would you say for like incoming students? Because they are like much longer than normal universities, I think.
Oh, really?
Well, we're like 3 hours. Like, my friends have like 45-minute lectures.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, so I'm gonna go and say good job, Schulich. I personally like sitting down for 3 hours and getting it done, like done and out of the way with like right at the start of the week.
Mhm.
Like as opposed to like doing like multiple 45-minute
right.
lectures. Like doing it all in one sitting is definitely a lot better, especially because we are a commuter school. Like a lot of us don't want to do that constant commute for shorter lectures. So I'm gonna say good on them for that. And the 3 hours goes by pretty quickly because you're
In
like
person.
sitting there, you're with friends, they give you a 15-minute break. Like it's
It's
super
true.
chill. You can walk in and out of class, they won't do anything about it. So
Mhm.
I definitely think the 3 hours is like chill. Like I
Yeah,
like it.
I agree. It wasn't like out of my transition to university, that wasn't a factor that was like
Hmm.
stressful whatsoever. And I completely agree. I see some of my friends' schedules, like even New York, and they have like they're completely packed, but it's because their
They
3 hour
have to.
lectures are like split up into three classes. I'm like,
Hmm.
wow. So yeah, I second Hugo on that one. I think it's pretty cool. Like it's never
Yeah.
been like a cause for concern. Like I've never been like, oh, 3 hours. That sucks.
That's true.
You get used to it. In like online, that's a different story though.
Yeah, that sucks. But
Yeah, I want to nap 3 hours. Some professors go 3 hours. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
There's also one thing that people like were really asking about was like what's like the main field that people go into when it comes to shoe like is there like one prevalent one, or is it just like people kind of diversify and go into different kind of areas of business?
Probably accounting, right, Hugo?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we have a lot of networking when it comes to like the big four. They're called the big four, right? I'm not in accounting. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so there's a lot of that. But I think equally marketing. Like I feel like I should have been in school a little longer, like in person, like not leave after class to see the networking events that were going on. But my guess is marketing or like accounting first and marketing. Like Hugo, what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely, especially like in terms of accounting, like our school is definitely a target. So we get hired the most from the Big Four accounting. But I don't know, especially with like the recent years of Schulich students, we've been very much derailing the accounting route and like pursuing our own things. So like
Right.
we have a lot of like HR recently, that's been a big one. Finance, marketing. So I don't know. Accounting is definitely the biggest one, but I feel like everything else is like on the come up.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on the marketing mans, bro. We're about to make a
Facts.
comic, bro.
There are a lot of us. There are a lot of marketing fans.
Let's go.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I agree. But yeah, but regardless of what you want to do, like if you come out here and put the work and then make the connections, you're gonna be fine whichever pathway you're
Hmm.
choosing to
Yeah.
pursue. So
That's
it's
true.
not like I don't do accounting, but I'm still gonna be fine at Schulich and I'm gonna have opportunities at Schulich
Yeah.
regardless.
Besides that, now that we're talking about like careers and like whatever, marketing, accounting, and things like that, do you think that what are some of the services that people should know about when it comes to like career development? Like, do you think they provide like a good enough support system, or, you know, what's your stance on that?
I guess I'll start like I think Hugo will talk about the CDC. I'm assuming you're gonna mention that. I'll leave that to you. But for me personally, like this year, they implemented a program with Schulich Startups. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was like open to second, third, and fourth years where they were pairing students with startups, and that's how I got my job. So like throughout the pandemic, like I got a job because of Schulich Startups, which I continue to work. It was kind of like co-op. I just wasn't getting paid for first semester, but they like extended me a part-time offer for this semester as well. So like I owe my job to Schulich right now. So I don't think it's directly like the CDC, but Schulich Startups like helped me out a bunch. So that I got through Schulich, which I appreciate a lot.
Nice.
Yeah. Um, I
Yeah.
don't know. So we do have this thing and it's called Handshake. So that's a really cool resource where it's just like any job listing that Schulich gets asked to promote, they just put it on this massive central hub and you can like apply to any jobs there. But I know like the CDC does provide like resume, like checkups or like mock interviews, but personally, I've never experimented with it.
Same.
They could be helpful resources and they could possibly help me land a job faster, but I've never looked into it. So,
Yeah. CDC is a career development center if anybody
yeah.
listening that doesn't know. Same. I've never my boyfriend has, and I don't think they helped him too much. He still doesn't have a job, so sorry. My bad.
Tough.
Yeah, but
Uh,
in regards to like the job, the job search or hunt, like again, just to like GPA doesn't matter. Like nobody's getting jobs out here over me because they have a better GPA or anything. I feel like a
sure.
lot of it has to do with luck, catering your resume to their company, and just like networking,
Who
which
you
like
know.
sucks to say, but like networking's like pretty big.
Yeah, that's who you know, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One big thing that is asked, and I think is important for people to know, because like Schulich falls into like some certain bracket of like business schools that people are applying to, and one of our like biggest, I guess, drawbacks is the fact that it's like a commuter school, I guess, and the like, what are your takes on the commuting culture and like how the whole like, I guess that transitions into like social life
Oh
and shit
yeah,
at the school.
it's a rockin'. Um, yeah, Hugo, do you want to start with this
Yeah.
one?
So with York or like Schulich specifically, you get out of it what you put into it. So if you want to treat commuting or like a commuter school, such as like you wake up, go to class, do your class, and come straight home, then like maybe you won't have the same experience as somebody that wakes up, goes to class, stays there, hangs out with their friends, gets a breakout room. Like there's more that you can do towards a commuter school to make it a more memorable experience. And like as for the social life, like I've been to Western a few times and it's like, you know, you walk in and they're like party, party, party. Like okay, like that gets kind of boring, like kind of quick. So
Oh.
like Schulich is more so like whoever you surround yourself with, like that's gonna be like more so like the culture. Like I know there's a lot of people that like choose not to party, which is like fair. And then there are like a group of students dedicated towards like partying, going out, drinking, which is like also fair. So it's like you have to find your group. And if you know, like if you went to university because you want to party and you want to drink, then you will find people at Schulich that also have that common interest. But it's not like a Western or a Queens where it's like people are just out on the streets drinking all the time. More so like, yeah,
Yeah,
planned
I think
drinking.
if you're like into partying, that I wouldn't say go to Schulich. Like, yeah, you can find your people, but like, you probably will be miserable. That being said, like first year, like I kind of sat back. Like Schulich has like pub nights, and
Yeah.
I may have embarrassed myself at a couple of those. But what I did, for example, like I'm part of the club that welcomes exchange students. So like all of second year last year, I was hanging out with exchange students and they're here to have a good time. So like I was constantly downtown, constantly like, going to whatever they were going to. Um, so like you can find
Hmm.
a good time if you're looking for it, but if that's not something that you're interested in, then like it's easy to like disappear and like go away from that. So like if you want to be involved, like you can be. So it's not like your roommate's gonna be partying like 24/7, like at some other schools that happens. So it's
Yeah,
pretty.
Yeah.
I've heard some horror stories of like Laurier Queens when it comes to like res people just destroying like their properties and things like that because they're partying
Yeah.
too much.
That's not gonna happen at Schulich.
Yeah.
Not a problem
Would break
here.
our room, just go crazy.
But
Yeah.
with that being said, I'd have to say I very much enjoyed my social life with Schulich. Like it's just been chill. Like it's a very chill environment where if you want to drink, like you can drink. If you want to do something, you can do it, and it's just like very laid back. So I like it. It was a
Yeah.
good fit for me.
Same. I completely agree. Like I came first year, like high school, I was always somebody that like kind of sat back. Like I wasn't overly social. And when it came to university, I was kind of thinking I'd be the same, but I don't know. I branched out, made some good friends, and you find people that want to hang out and party if you're looking for that. That
Hmm.
being said, like in general, like no, we don't have a
Yeah,
social
no.
culture. Like
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's the answer. Like we kind of just like went around that. Like if you're looking for party culture, do not come to Schulich.
Yeah.
That's the answer here. Like you're not gonna find it. Like as much as like everybody wants to hang out, you're not gonna find
Yeah, like
party
we
culture.
have no Hoko, we have no Foco, we don't even
Right.
know what St. Patty's is.
We
Like we
have
have none of
Schulich
that.
Frosh. Hugo?
Oh yeah, my bad. Ought to know.
Yeah, that's what we have.
Good to know. Good to know.
And pub
No,
nights.
we have one, don't we?
We have
like some shitty, not that. What's it called? It was in like
Hoko?
September. Like, is it Hoko?
Frosh?
No, it's not
There's
Frosh. It's like after. It's like
It's doing frosh. Like Hoku is
No.
doing frosh, isn't it? I
Well,
Am
I
I
think
stupid?
you guys are supporting the point. If you can't
Yeah,
what my
no.
opinion is, we don't have one.
Bro.
100%.
All right. Next question. Another big one with York. How safe is campus?
Okay, like York's been getting a lot of like shit in the media for like how unsafe it is and everything. And I personally live in the neighborhood or like in the area of York. Like it's not it's like the campus itself is safe. If you want to leave campus at night, it's probably not the safest just because you aren't in necessarily the city. It's like kind of like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like open streets.
Mhm.
So, like, your campus itself is safe. Like, they do have officers patrolling the area at night, and you can call like student services to give you a ride to your dorm or to the library or whatever. So York itself is safe, but like I'd say the neighboring outside area isn't the safest if you want to go out alone at night.
I agree. I think it's being taken down, but there's pond parking, which is like Pond Street and closer to Kiel. And and I parked there. So one night I was coming back and there was police because remember there was that Schulich student that got shot in the, yeah. So it does happen. But I think that happens, like it's less likely to happen at a different campus, but I think different campuses have their own issues. And I think a lot of what happens at York, because it's already a bad rep, it gets like on the news. I think a lot of the stuff that would happen like at Laurier or Western, it's kind of like not taken as seriously or hidden. Like, I don't know, when it comes to like, for example, just sexual harassment, I think that York, it's a lot lower than some of those other schools, but because York is already in a bad limelight, that will be put to the front page as opposed to something that happened at Laurier. I think if like you're smart about it, like you can, like York has access to like 24/7 security. Like if you're walking somewhere, you can call them, no questions asked, they'll walk you to your car. And I think if you take advantage of all the resources that are offered, like you're going to be safe 100%. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's chill. Like we're good. Hugo and I are still here.
We're fine, we're safe.
Yeah, we made it.
One of the lucky few, you know.
Yeah. What else do we need? For now. Yeah.
Day's not over yet. Day's not over
Yeah,
yet.
exactly. Still some time.
I guess to kind of switch gears from like this whole like safety and all that.
When we're talking about death.
Yeah, we're
No more death.
No more death talk. What are some of your favorite parts about the program? Like, all in all, like everything that you've done from now that you're third years, what are some of like the fond memories that you've had and some of the things that you look back and you're like, yeah, like that was actually, like, that was pretty great.
Schulich itself, I can't think of much. But, like, the extracurriculars,
Yeah.
like, everyone has their own personal experience, but, like, obviously for me, like, JDCC has been a big help towards, like, just making me feel, like, welcomed, accepted, and, like, normal at Schulich. Where it's, like, I found somewhere that can, like, match my energy, and that, like, makes me feel, like, proud to be like a Schulich student. So I think that's really cool. So I definitely have to say my only positive experience is JDCC.
Yeah, but that like makes up for the rest of it, right?
Yeah, like 100%.
Yeah, I think same, like, I don't know. I liked being a frosh leader. Like looking back, that was kind of fun. That was pretty fun. Like way better than being a froshy. And then for me, like the club I'm on, the one that welcomes exchange students. Like I spent second year solely hanging out with exchange students. Like that's lit. And I had an amazing time. And like when March came, when like the whole quarantine started, like right before that, I'm like, I have so many friends. And then they all just left. They all went back to their own countries. And I was like, hold on a minute, what happened here? But yeah, it was definitely the highlight of my experience has been the club. And I think for a lot of people, like the club you get involved with is your highlight because you spend so much time with these people and you work a lot of late nights and stuff like that. So form a lot of good bonds. But like in terms of education, absolutely nothing. I think like for the new generation coming into school, like even the most miserable times, like at least you're in class. Like even the worst education, you're crying over exams, like at least you're crying in school. Like we're crying at home. But like I don't know, like if going back, like obviously I have a completely new perspective. I'm like, I think everything was awesome. Like I got to go to class, I got to meet people, and those are like the little things that I didn't really care about before because I never thought they'd be taken away. But yeah, like I miss seeing people. That was my favorite thing, going to class and seeing people, and I just don't see anyone now. So that's that. But aww.
I think now is the more fun question, which is least favorite parts of the program.
Oh fuck yeah. Right.
So I don't know, personally for me, not necessarily Schulich's program itself, because I think the way they operate, like their academics is like pretty decent, but I just can't, like the culture at Schulich is definitely not what I expected. And it definitely like I don't know, like just Schulich, the entire experience hasn't been my favorite. And it's not because I have like, you know, beef with like admin there. It's just like I find that Schulich culture is like very toxic in a way. Like it can be toxic.
I'm somebody that has completely avoided anything related to being toxic or like anything like that. So if I've ever approached that situation, I just like removed myself from it. So like I haven't really experienced like anybody being toxic, but I agree that there's like a completely different narrative that like admin has and like the students that are actually experiencing the program have. Like we have a completely different perspective of the program than they do. My least favorite thing about the program, I don't like the emphasis placed on GPA. Like that's probably and the emphasis placed on involvement in clubs, like right off the bat. Like I'm super, I don't know, like in first year, I came into this school and I just kept getting rejected. Like I didn't get interviews for a single first year position. Like I applied to a couple, didn't get interviews. I didn't get interviews at the end of first year. And it's because my resume was bad. And like, I understand that, but like such a heavy emphasis is placed on resume. And like, if you don't have a good resume going into first year, which I don't know who would, you're not going to do well from the get-go, which sucks. But like, I still made it. So that's
and what Shelly just said is like what I meant, like this toxic culture where it's like,
in that case, yes.
Yeah, like where it's like clubs are everything, GPA is everything. You're not holding an exec position on
you're not going to succeed.
A club? Whoa, dude, how do you expect to succeed in life? Like that's not happening. Like and it's just like there's like this level of professionalism even when you leave the classroom where it's like sometimes like you just want to smile and dance and you feel dumb doing it because everyone's just taking life too seriously.
Completely agree.
So like I don't know, I've always been like a super upbeat person and like Schulich kind of like took that part of me away.
No.
And like it was just like I know, bring it back. No, don't leave. But like first and second year it was just like so hard to like do anything just because like the people around you, it just always felt so judgmental.
That's true, 100%.
Something that like I agree with that. I think in my experience, literally last semester, what you were talking about, the professionalism and like everyone kind of maintaining face, is that just I was in, this is online so it's a bit different, but like I was in a group call for some like class project and we we're like planning it out and whatever. And everyone was like, okay, so we need to do this analysis and this part and that part. Okay, so who's going to do this and whatever. And at one point, like, I'm not good at finance. It was a finance project. And I interrupted, like, our whole discussion. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. On a real note, how good are you guys at finance? Or, like, how much do you actually enjoy it? And, like, immediately everyone had, like, snapped out of, like, business mode. And everyone's like, yo, I hate this class. I'm not good at this, like, whatever. And some guy, like, after that, I was talking to him, and he goes, like, yo, that's the first time I've, like, been out of business face in, like, so long. Which is so fucking sad.
It's so sad. It's because of online. Like, Hugo and I are lucky in terms of, like, online group projects. Like, we're placed with our year and upper years that we got to be like not business professional at school, like outside of class. So when we get on the Zoom calls, like if we know the people, we're obviously not going to be like business face, but that's like a problem. Like a lot of first years are experiencing that completely because they met everybody online. So like, it sucks and we got to snap out of it. I don't know how though, but we got to do it.
I think we need a nice wrap up.
This is a depressing.
This is taking a dark turn.
We're all crying by the end of it.
What is the biggest piece of advice you would tell yourself if you were going into first year again?
100% not care about clubs and not put such a like I define my business worth through my ability to secure like executive positions on clubs or like even being able to excel in stats. And that doesn't define you. Like I held my self-worth to that. And that's like absurd. Like I'm so much more than an exec position or getting rejected. And now that I am in third year and all my friends are co-presidents, I realize nobody knows what they're doing. It's not like we're so above like picking these people. It's like looking at resumes. And I used to think like everybody just knows I don't know, like I felt so bad when like a third-year president would not accept me for an interview. But like looking back, nobody knows what they're doing. I'm like, don't care if you don't get an interview, because you will eventually get an interview that will land you a position, but just don't stress so much about getting that in first year, especially. Yeah.
Yeah. And like for me, don't go into Schulich with this painted future for yourself.
For sure.
Like for me, like I went in thinking that, you know, like I had everything planned out. I was like, oh yeah, like third year, definitely gonna be interning at P&G. Fourth year, gonna get my return offer and then go on exchange and like do all of this. Like if you set like those expectations for yourself, you just like forget completely what you're working towards. Like I'm in third year now, and P&G is the last place I want to be working.
100%.
Like I just don't see the appeal to it anymore. And it's like, now was that goal a goal that I personally set because I was ambitious towards that company, or is that just what everyone I wanted? Yeah, what everyone else was telling me to do, and that how like it was a like respected corporations that you should work for. So I don't know, like go into it with your own goals. Like what I want to do now is so different than what I wanted to do in first year. And the only difference is like I'm not trying to appeal to Schulich anymore. I'm just trying to appeal to myself.
Yeah.
So do this for yourself. Do education for yourself and take what you want for yourself. Like stop trying to please everyone. Like it's never gonna happen.
Yeah. I agree. And in terms of like business, you can apply business to absolutely anything. Like it doesn't, like when you think of business school, you're like accounting, marketing, and then you're like, you can only be a marketing intern. Like there's so much more to that. There's so like such variety in business that people like don't consider going into the program. And I completely agree. Like I went into this, my mom's like, project managers make a lot of money. You should be a project manager. I actually got a DM from a first year or grade 12 that messaged me like, I want to be a project manager. Is there a specialization for that? I'm like, honey, it's like, do whatever you want, take whatever courses you want, and then get into that field. Like you don't, and I think that's the good thing here. I'll credit the program with something, is that we get the chance to experience like first 2 years of doing a lot of different courses. Like some other schools, like you want to do marketing, you do marketing right off the get-go. And obviously, I would have personally rather not done accounting and finance and stats and OMIS. But I really do credit that for like getting like a little bit of experience, because what if I did want to do finance and I wouldn't have taken that otherwise in a different program? So that's the good thing. But
at least they cross off like that what if, you know.
Yeah. What if, but like not really. Now we know. It's okay.
I think that basically runs through all the questions we had. If there's any last thing that you want to say for anyone, like, because right now I think, everyone's applied. Everyone's just waiting.
Kind of waiting, yeah.
If they get their offers and if they accept it. What's like, I don't know, a last bit of advice, whatever you would say to anyone waiting on a Schulich offer right now?
I guess waiting, and even next year, once you're applying, like on Reddit, just me and Reddit. Like I literally posted, like, if you want me to look over your Schulich application, send me a message. Like I'll gladly do that. And I ended up looking at like, I think over 18, just random grade 12 applications for Schulich. And I know a lot of people in my year that would have been like happy to do that as well. So I think when you're applying, like take advantage of the fact that there are 4 years of Schulich students ahead of you that would be more than happy to help you with this application. That's like for grade 11, but advice for grade 12, like if you get to be in person, just hug your friends. Like I don't have any, I literally don't have any school advice. Like everybody gets through it. If I was able to get through it, you'll be able to get through it. But the main thing is just if you get to be in person, like that's something that was unfortunately taken away from us. So just like enjoy it. Like even if you hate classes, like I hate classes, but I'd do anything to go back there right now. So this is so depressing. Like, I'm so sorry, but that's like actually, and I think like a lot of people in my year and like upper years, and you guys too as well, would say the same. Just like enjoy it. Like you're in university, you get 4 years, just have a good time. don't care what others think. Don't stress about exec positions. Don't stress about GPA. Do whatever you want. Like, the world's your oyster. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to add on to that, if you don't get into Schulich, it's not the end of the
Oh,
world.
not at
You can get
all.
an education like anywhere that you applied.
Oh my God.
Every school is like respected. So like, don't make Schulich your end game. Be
Absolutely.
proud that you get in, and if you don't, like, it's not the end of the world. I'm like sure I could have amounted the exact same success at Ryerson or UFT or Western. So
Yeah, and that's like really that's like a common misconception going in. Like I got into Schulich, but like at the end of the day, you're gonna be working alongside students that went to Laurier, went to Ted Roch. Like my boss right now, she went to Ryerson, and she's like smarter than like half of the Schulich people I know. So like it goes to show that everybody like it doesn't matter what program you go into, it's what you take out of it, it's the people you meet, and just have a good time, man. Like just enjoy university. Like you made it. Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
stressing so much.
Yeah, stop stressing. What's the point of stressing? Like everybody gets a job at the end of the day. No need to stress at all.
Thank you guys for coming on and giving your takes on the program. For the listeners, this is part of our 7-episode series about Canadian business programs. So if you guys want to learn more about some other schools, maybe you're making a decision for where to go for university, be sure to check those out for more info and more takes on the programs.
And if you're interested in learning more about the world of business, maybe getting some life advice or just career advice, or just checking out and listening to stories from really cool people, check out our podcast. We're on Instagram and Spotify and everywhere else, wherever you get your podcast, at the Business Kids Podcast. Thank you, and have a good day.